Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 5 and we are presented about doing research. But before we starting our explanation, first I will introduction my group member. The first is me, Ena Luthfiah, Helena Tada, Hamsinah, Raya Prawira, and Arjuna Agil Amnur. So the first is call theory. Call theory is the set of perspectives, models, frameworks, and specific theories that after generalization of account for phenomena relate to the use of computers and the pursuit of language learning objectives to ground relevant research agendas and to inform effective call decision and practice. A call theory is a set of claims about the meaningful elements and process within some domain of call, their interrelationships and the impact that they have on a language learning, development and outcomes. Hubbard 2009. So, the second is propose a theology for the relationship of theory of call, research and practice. Much of a call in the past has been a theoretical product without reference to any specific theory of our framework, although that is changing. Next is a more interesting for is theory adaptation. In this case, a theory is modified of chance to accommodate the difference inherent in the computer versus the face-to-face environment. Next is a relatively rare occurrence in theory synthesis, where two or more theories from different cores are combined to accommodate the special qualities of the computer-mediated language learning environment. So, the last theory is two others categorized are introduced in Hubbard and Levy 2006. One is theory interpretation, where a theory like activity theory that explicitly has a place for both the technology and language learning is interpreted in a study. So the second theory is ensembles, where perspectives from two or more theories are combined without synthesizing them into a unitary entity.
Research. There are two kinds of research in call. One is descriptive and exploratory, looking to see what happens when language learners engage in call to see what, if anything, happens differently. The second kind, which represents the majority of call research, looks at what might be better about using particular instance of call. But what exactly is better? Here are some possible interpretations. First is learning efficiency. Learners pick up language knowledge or skills faster or less effort. The second, effectiveness. Learners pick up what is targeted, retain language knowledge or skills longer, and or learn more of what they need. The third, access. Learners can get materials or experience interaction that would otherwise be difficult or impossible. Fourth, confidence. Learners can learn with more or less equal effectiveness across a wider range of time or place. Next, motivation. Learners enjoy the language learning process more or are willing to engage in it more. And the last is institutional efficiency. Learners require less space, less teacher time, or less expensive materials.
Next is call research trend. Most AI, computer-assisted instruction, and early call research focus on comparing computer user with a control group, typically using traditional method. Research has continued in all areas of recently has focused on several identifiable areas, such as computer media communication, especially instruction and synchronous chat setting and email in tandem setting. The second, visual, text and sound annotation to promote comprehension and vocabulary acquisition. And the last is effectiveness of online productivity active, including development of communicative and collaborative writing.
Okay, next is subject characteristic in core research. In 2004, a study was conducted on research articles contained in 4 core journals over 2 until 3 year periods, focusing on subject characteristic. The overall conclusion was that core research as a whole is unbalanced toward the study of novice working on new tasks or using new applications. Hubbard 2005, among other recommendations, I suggest that more be done using experienced and trained learners so that we can get a more complete picture of the potential effectiveness of specific core software and tasks. This should not be taken as a general criticism of more basic observational research when left to their own device, which is also quite important. The point is that the core research domain should be more balanced than it currently appears.
The next is doing research. There are several avenues available to teachers in the role of researchers of their own classroom or students. The first one is observation. When your students are using software or doing a computer-based task in a lab or other venue where you can watch them, you can look over their shoulder, check their interaction, and make brief notes of what you notice. Interact with the students as they interact with the software. This can give you feedback on the effectiveness of a given piece of software, called exercise or call task, and it can also help you determine students' training needs. The second is tracking. Some software has built-in tracking features. If you are using a discussion board, all students' posts can be reviewed. Some chat programs also allow the session to be logged for later review. The third is students' surveys. Ask specific questions about usage. Note that it's best to do this as soon as possible after a call session since memories fade rapidly. And the last one is students' journals. Getting students to keep a reflective journal of their experience with software or other core activities is useful both for them and to the teacher.
I think that's all from us. Thank you very much and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.